Section 1. Defining prosperity, unpacking the enigma of GDP. In the realm of economics, few metrics hold as much sway as gross domestic product, or GDP. It's a measure of a nation's economic output, a yardstick by which we assess the health and vitality of economies worldwide. GDP represents the total market value of all final goods and services produced within a country's borders during a specific period. From bustling factories to bustling service sectors, GDP encapsulates the multifaceted nature of economic activity. Its importance lies in its ability to provide a snapshot of a nation's economic prowess, a metric that governments, businesses, and investors alike scrutinize. A rising GDP often signals economic expansion, job creation, and increased prosperity. Conversely, a shrinking GDP can be a harbinger of recession, unemployment, and economic hardship. Understanding GDP is therefore crucial for policymakers, business leaders, and citizens alike. However, GDP is not without its critics. Some argue that it's a flawed measure of progress, one that fails to capture the true well-being of a nation and its citizens. They point to its limitations in accounting for income inequality, environmental degradation, and other societal factors. While GDP remains a powerful tool, it's essential to acknowledge its shortcomings and consider alternative measures that provide a more holistic view of economic and societal progress. Section 2. The two sides of GDP, strengths and weaknesses of a powerful metric. Advocates for GDP emphasize its simplicity and objectivity as a measure. It provides a standardized framework for comparing economic performance across countries and over time. This allows for meaningful analysis of economic trends and the formulation of effective economic policies. Moreover, GDP data is readily available and frequently updated, making it a valuable tool for real-time economic monitoring. Furthermore, GDP growth often correlates with improvements in living standards. As economies grow, businesses expand, creating new jobs and opportunities for citizens. This can lead to higher incomes, increased consumption, and an overall improvement in material well-being. Governments often use GDP growth as a benchmark for success, aiming to create policies that foster economic expansion and improve the lives of their citizens. However, critics of GDP argue that it paints an incomplete picture of societal well-being. One major criticism is that GDP fails to account for income inequality. A rising GDP doesn't necessarily translate into shared prosperity. The benefits of economic growth can be concentrated in the hands of a few, leaving large segments of the population behind. This can exacerbate social divisions and undermine the overall health of a society. Another limitation is that GDP doesn't account for the depletion of natural resources or environmental degradation. Economic activities that generate pollution or deplete natural capital are counted as positive contributions to GDP, even though they have negative long-term consequences. This creates a perverse incentive for unsustainable practices that harm the environment and jeopardize future generations. Section 3. Beyond GDP, exploring alternative measures of economic well-being. Recognizing the limitations of GDP, economists and policymakers have sought alternative measures that provide a more comprehensive assessment of economic and societal progress. These alternative indicators aim to capture factors such as income inequality, environmental sustainability, health outcomes, and social well-being. One such alternative is the Genuine Progress Indicator, GPI, which adjusts GDP for factors such as income inequality, environmental damage, and the value of household work. The GPI aims to provide a more accurate measure of societal well-being by accounting for both positive and negative externalities of economic activity. Another alternative is the Human Development Index, HDI, developed by the United Nations. The HDI goes beyond economic indicators to incorporate measures of education, health, and living standards. It recognizes that true progress involves more than just economic growth. It also encompasses improvements in human capabilities and well-being. Other alternative measures include the Happy Planet Index, which measures environmental impact and well-being, and the Social Progress Index, which focuses on social and environmental factors that contribute to quality of life. These alternative measures provide valuable insights into aspects of societal progress that GDP alone cannot capture. They highlight the importance of considering a broader range of factors when assessing the well-being of a nation. By incorporating these alternative measures into policy decisions, governments can strive for more equitable, sustainable, and fulfilling forms of economic growth. Section 4, a holistic approach, balancing GDP growth with societal progress. While alternative measures provide valuable perspectives, GDP remains a crucial indicator of economic activity. The challenge lies in finding a balance between pursuing GDP growth and addressing the limitations of this metric. Governments must adopt a holistic approach that considers both economic and societal well-being. This involves recognizing that true progress cannot be measured solely by economic output. It requires a commitment to fostering inclusive growth that benefits all segments of society, not just a privileged few. Policies should aim to reduce income inequality, expand access to education and healthcare, and create opportunities for all citizens to participate in and benefit from economic growth. Moreover, governments must prioritize environmental sustainability. Economic growth that comes at the expense of the environment is ultimately unsustainable. Policies should incentivize businesses to adopt sustainable practices, invest in renewable energy, and protect natural resources for future generations. By decoupling economic growth from environmental degradation, we can create a more sustainable and prosperous future. Section 5. Investing in people, education, healthcare, and the future of growth. One of the most effective ways to foster sustainable and inclusive growth is to invest in people. Education and healthcare are not only fundamental human rights, but also crucial drivers of economic development. A well-educated workforce is better equipped to compete in the global economy, while a healthy population is more productive and less burdened by healthcare costs. Governments should prioritize investments in quality education at all levels, from early childhood education to higher education and vocational training. This includes ensuring access to quality education for all children, regardless of their socio-economic background. It also involves fostering a culture of lifelong learning and providing opportunities for workers to acquire new skills and adapt to changing labor market demands. Similarly, investments in healthcare are essential for both social and economic progress. Access to affordable and quality healthcare improves health outcomes, reduces mortality rates, and enhances overall well-being. It also leads to a healthier and more productive workforce. Governments should strive to provide universal healthcare coverage, ensure the affordability of essential medicines, and promote preventative healthcare measures. Section 6. Fostering innovation, the engine of sustainable economic development. Innovation is the lifeblood of a thriving economy. It drives productivity growth, creates new industries and jobs, and improves living standards. Governments play a crucial role in fostering innovation by creating an environment that encourages research and development, supports entrepreneurship, and protects intellectual property rights. Investing in scientific research is essential for driving technological advancements and fostering innovation. Governments should provide funding for basic research, support university research programs, and create incentives for private sector investment in research and development. This includes providing tax breaks for research and development expenditures and streamlining the patent process to encourage innovation. Furthermore, governments should create an enabling environment for entrepreneurship. This includes reducing bureaucratic hurdles, providing access to financing, and fostering a culture that celebrates risk-taking and innovation. Incubators, accelerators, and other support systems can help nurture startups and provide them with the resources they need to succeed. Section 7. Infrastructure and technology, laying the foundation for growth. A robust infrastructure is the backbone of a modern economy. Roads, bridges, airports, seaports, and telecommunications networks facilitate the movement of goods, services, and people, connecting businesses to markets and workers to jobs. Investing in infrastructure creates jobs in the short term and lays the foundation for long-term economic growth. Governments should prioritize investments in infrastructure projects that enhance connectivity, improve efficiency, and promote sustainability. This includes upgrading existing infrastructure, expanding transportation networks, and investing in renewable energy sources. Public-private partnerships can play a crucial role in financing large-scale infrastructure projects. Moreover, governments should embrace the transformative potential of technology. From artificial intelligence to blockchain to the Internet of Things, emerging technologies have the potential to revolutionize industries, create new jobs, and improve the lives of citizens. Governments should invest in digital literacy programs, promote the adoption of new technologies, and create a regulatory environment that fosters innovation while protecting consumers. Section 8. Promoting sustainability, balancing economic growth with environmental responsibility. As we strive for economic growth, we must also address the urgent need for environmental sustainability. Climate change, pollution, and resource depletion pose significant threats to our planet and our future prosperity. Governments have a crucial role to play in transitioning to a more sustainable and resilient economy. One key aspect of this transition is pricing externalities. Currently, many of the environmental costs of economic activity are not reflected in market prices. This leads to overconsumption of resources and unsustainable practices. Governments can use carbon pricing mechanisms, such as carbon taxes or cap-and-trade systems, to internalize these costs and incentivize businesses to reduce their environmental impact. Furthermore, governments should promote the development and adoption of clean technologies. This includes providing incentives for renewable energy production, investing in energy efficiency measures, and supporting research and development in areas such as carbon capture and storage. By fostering a green technology sector, we can create new jobs, reduce our reliance on fossil fuels, and mitigate the impacts of climate change. Section 9. Global cooperation towards a more inclusive and sustainable global economy. The challenges of economic growth and sustainable development are interconnected and global in scope. No country can address these challenges in isolation. International cooperation is essential to foster a more inclusive, sustainable, and prosperous global economy. This includes working together to address issues such as climate change, trade imbalances, and financial instability. International organizations such as the United Nations, the World Bank, and the International Monetary Fund play a crucial role in facilitating dialogue, coordinating policies, and providing financial assistance to developing countries. Furthermore, developed countries have a responsibility to support developing countries in their efforts to achieve sustainable development. This includes providing financial assistance, technology transfer, and capacity building support. By working together, we can create a more just and equitable global economy that benefits all people. Section 10, GDP and beyond, a call to action for governments worldwide. In conclusion, while GDP remains a valuable indicator of economic activity, it's essential to recognize its limitations and embrace a more holistic approach to measuring and pursuing economic progress. Governments must look beyond GDP and prioritize policies that promote inclusive growth, invest in people, foster innovation, enhance infrastructure, and protect the environment. By embracing these principles, we can create economies that are not only prosperous but also equitable, sustainable, and resilient. The time for action is now. Let us work together to build a future where economic growth goes hand in hand with social progress and environmental responsibility. Only then can we truly say that we are on a path towards sustainable and shared prosperity.